No sleeves on my wedding gown. None. And my wedding was in December.
My own sister said to me, you can't get married in the US ever because I want to get married in the US one day. This never occurred to me, but I feel like, was I rude? I'm so serious.
Hey guys, welcome to Honey Hearts. I'm Sandra.
And I'm V.
Here we talk about stories that are sometimes heartwarming or heartbreaking. Let's get into today's story. So today's very exciting because we have another wedding story.
Yay!
It's a wedding story.
Ooh.
We love those. In today's story, Opie is wondering if she is the a-hole for choosing the same wedding location that is her sister's dream location.
Ooh.
Is that too much for siblings to share? Let's get into it. So this story comes from r/Am I the a-hole? Will I be the a-hole if I had my wedding in my sister's dream wedding location? I've written this out a bunch of times, but always ramble for too long, so I'm going to attempt to tell this super briefly. We'll answer questions if needed. I, 24 female, am from the US, but went to university in the UK and have been in England since. My fiancé, Nick, 25 male, is from Italy, but similarly came to the UK for uni. My sister Sarah, 27 female, is someone who has always fantasized about her wedding. Pinterest stuff, hundreds of pics in her camera roll, follows a bunch of wedding bakery Insta pages, etc. Her dream wedding location has always been an Italian vineyard. Italian vineyard. When deciding our wedding location, Nick and I were going between New York, London, and Tuscany, where his family is from. We chose Tuscany because 1, we find it the most beautiful, 2, his family has a huge vineyard where they're happy to host everyone, and 3, with the money we'd save for venue and accommodations, we could pay for the airfare of all our guests coming from the US. It'll be a small wedding, max 50 people. 15 from the US, 10 from the UK, so it's doable. Any way we go about it, it'll be a destination wedding for some people, so Tuscany is thus the best financially speaking. My sister, however, is furious. She called me selfish for doing this to her since I've never cared nearly as much about weddings, but now I'm stealing her dream location. My parents were on her side till I told them Nick and I would be covering all our family's airfare and accommodations, and then they were placated? How do you say that word? They worried family members wouldn't want to go to 2 destination weddings in Italy. Sarah, however, has not come around, even when I've tried to explain the reasoning behind it all. After talking with my mom today, she suggested that we have it in England to keep the peace, since this means so much to my sister while I never cared much about weddings. She says she and my dad discussed and think they're able to cover the cost of all the airfare for people flying from the US, which might be financially doable for them, but really not ideal as they're both retired. I'm not sure what to do now. Nick strongly prefers Italy, but he isn't adamantly against London. His parents very much want to host a wedding. I don't think I'm the a-hole since this is literally where Nick's family lives, but I'm willing to admit I'm wrong. So will I be the a-hole if I don't give in?
Wait. So it's not even that the sister has a specific venue in mind. She just wants a vineyard. That's her whole dream.
She just wants it to be in Italy. I
guess the country? So she doesn't even want her sister to have a wedding in the same country?
Yeah. I don't think the sister really named that it had to be at a vineyard. She just really wanted it in Italy, and that just happens to be where OP's fiance's family is from.
I'm going to have to say for this, unless, now I understand if either they have like in the past some sort of sister rivalry going on, some copycat behavior for, bad reasons.
Yeah.
Or if OP legit took her sister's Pinterest board and like took the whole vision. I understand you would feel, I think you are entitled to be angry if that's the case, because it's kind of like
intentional copycat
and not for the right reasons. But in this case, I mean, it seems like it's the fiance's family's vineyard too, right?
Yeah. And his family wants to host their wedding. And that would save them as a couple so much money. Well, actually, it would save the guests a lot of money too, because then OP and her fiance can cover the guest airfare and stay.
It makes sense to me. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused. Is she going to be mad if... What about all the other people who have their weddings in Italy?
Well, another reasoning is that they're thinking like, oh, maybe the family doesn't want to come to two weddings in Italy. But I don't think that's a concern.
That just sounds silly. I'm sorry. That's some silly thing. I've never heard. That's almost like me saying, because we're in the U.S., guys. Shout out to all the U.S. listeners. But that's almost like saying, now I know Italy's a much smaller country in size, right? But even then, it's almost as if I'm trying to picture if, say, my own sister said to me, you can't get married in the U.S. ever because I want to get married in the U.S. one day. That just sounds a little silly.
Yeah, that's very silly.
I think this is kind of like the same thing. Like, how dare you get married in Italy?
I think maybe like the sister romanticized the idea of getting married in Italy, and to see her younger sister do it first, it might spark like definitely like jealousy there.
Yeah.
Especially, we don't know the situation, whether or not like the older sister is in a relationship and is engaged and like, is expecting to get married soon, or if she's still like a single Pringle, and that's a long way from, into the future. In a way, I could see like there's always a little bit of rivalry or like jealousy among siblings. But like, how can you ban a whole country for your sibling?
That's so silly to me, especially when it's not even like there's a tie to the country, right? There's an actual tie.
Yeah, it wasn't like intentional.
Although one thing that you said that kind of like sparked an idea is, okay, so it's her younger sister that's getting married, and it seems like she clearly hasn't gotten married first from what we're hearing. I know some people feel weird about a younger sibling getting married before them because it's almost like the older sibling's supposed to quote unquote pave the road or do things first.
Yeah. Well, but like you can't control that. That's just it. Life doesn't always happen that way. It doesn't happen in chronological order, like by the book. So I don't think older sisters should expect people to put down their own plans for her fantasy. And who knows when that's going to happen, or if it will happen. Like maybe by the time she actually gets to wedding planning, she might change her mind and OP and fiance will have like chosen London for no reason.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Ugh. See, come from a perspective of someone who has a sister and is an older sister.
Yeah.
If my sister told me she had this dream, well, first off, maybe I'm a weirdo because I never even thought about like weddings until now into my adulthood that I'm thinking about it. But if my sister told me, hey, I guess, weddings in Italy, and I happen to also like happens in Italy, I just can't imagine it ever being a thing where we have a fight over having a wedding like, in the same country.
I don't know if it's my personality, but I would probably take it as a like research experience.
Oh yeah, like you can learn things.
So it's like, oh yeah, I'll attend your wedding so I can like maybe map it out in my head. Yeah, I would be excited to kind of see the venue first, or well, like I say venue, the country.
This actually made me wonder. Okay, so guys, back when Sandra got married, so one of the wedding like events, I guess, was an Asian banquet. And she had a restaurant, and I had asked her about it afterwards. Now, I have to ask you, because this never occurred to me, but I feel like, was I rude? I'm so serious.
Why?
Like, because I realized it could come off rude if someone's asking about a wedding event venue.
No? Wait, why would that be rude?
I don't know, because now I'm thinking with the Italy story, I'm like, wait a second, was that rude? Because I never thought about it. But I had asked Sandra for
like, are
details.
you talking about like the details about like the menu and the
like how it went, the planning went? Yeah.
No.
Because I realized, like, in this case, in the sister situation, clearly she finds that, she's angry that it's even being brought up as a country.
Well, I don't know.
I'm asking,
okay.
I asked
because it was like the same venue or the same restaurant for the banquet. I don't think so, because like I know that while I was planning, I wish that there was other people around me getting married so that I could ask questions. I literally only had one friend at the time who was planning her own wedding, and I asked her questions and she was asking me questions. We were like, what are you doing for flowers? What are you doing for like your bouquets? Like, what are you doing? So I think you know, just to be able to share the information while it was still fresh in my head, I didn't think it was rude. I'm like, hey, this is what you have to know. So, and we're friends, right? So you would think like among sisters, she'd be more...
Yeah, more open-minded,
like,
I want to say.
Yeah.
And this is not even a venue-specific thing. This is a country.
It's a country
thing.
So I don't know. If I was older sister, I would probably be like, hey, you know, do you mind if I explore the country or the area a little bit, you know, while we're there visiting for your wedding? I would take it as a research experience.
Yeah, I agree with that. So here's it. We're both older sisters. And so I would ask you, what if your younger sibling came to you and asked you specifically about your like wedding day venue? Like if they could also have their wedding there. Yeah. Would you have any weird feelings about it?
No. Well, okay. So my younger sibling is not getting married, but I have a younger cousin who's planning her wedding right now.
Oh.
And she, from day one of planning, she was asking me for pricing, that, you know, like what we paid for flowers, makeup artists, venue, whatever. I sent her like my whole quotes, emails of my quotes.
Oh, you're so good. That's so nice of you.
Well, because honestly, during planning, that's what I wish I had. You know, just like there's so much to look at, and you're like, am I getting, like, is this overpriced, underpriced? Is this normal? Is this not normal? So I don't know. I don't mind sharing. I don't think that's rude.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. And maybe we're just more, I guess, lighthearted about the situation.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just feel like, okay, it's not like they're going to book the same event on the same day. So in my opinion, it's kind of like, whatever.
So yeah, if like my younger cousin or my younger sibling asked about my specific venue and wanted to book, I'd be like, hey, perfect, because I probably know the most right now about it. So here you go.
Oh, yeah. I think that's like a nice thing to do. And it makes sense.
And even if, say, like these sisters, they have their weddings in the same country, but how they decorate and like, you know, the menu and everything, like it's gonna all be different. The music, everything's gonna be different besides that it's in the same country.
I feel like if the concern is like, if the concern that they brought up is about, oh, the guests will then have to go to 2 Italian weddings. I mean,
I'm pretty sure most Americans would be happy to go to Italy twice.
Yeah. And if the concern is cost, well, first off, one of them will be covered as mentioned by OP and her fiance covering it. I don't agree with picking London just to make older sister happy, but then the financial burden's on the parents.
Yeah. That would be superficially, it would be keeping the peace. But honestly, that will not, because then, you know, eventually that financial burden might become a grudge.
And even if the parents are okay, I'll be honest, I don't feel comfortable with putting that burden
if they don't
on the
have to.
Yeah,
it's not necessary. So why choose the burden?
Yeah. And I mean, in my opinion, if sister is going to have that much of a strong opinion about it for a reason that I don't think is very reasonable, then she should be ready to, controversial take, but open up that wallet and help out. If she's going to change it and she wants to make that many adjustments to it.
Exactly. Speaking of adjustments, we would love to make the adjustments by jumping up to 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. I just have to like think a little bit.
That was so smooth. That was so smooth.
Okay, so we have some comments that OP replied to. Comment, not the a-hole. Keep the peace means your sister's wishes mean everything and yours mean nothing. Your sister does not have a wedding planned at an Italian vineyard. She's not even engaged. There are 1,000 vineyards anyway, hardly a unique location. Your sister is out of line, as are your parents. They expect you to dump a free location that had meaning to your fiance because of a temper tantrum? No. Tell them this is the location. If they don't like it, they don't have to come. You expect them to act like mature adults and gracious guests at these people's homes. Your sister is almost 30, not 12.
Oh, I forgot about that. The vineyard is free.
It's free.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No.
If it's free, it's for me. Okay, OP replies to that comment. It's weird because I swear she isn't usually this irrational about things, and I think that's what's making me question myself here. I guess weddings are like the one thing that she's very passionately unhinged about. It didn't feel very relevant until I started reading some comments about her behavior being childish and crazy. But I might mention that I have another sister, 31 female, who is married to a woman. When she was proposing, she was going to use my mom's ring for her now wife, but Sarah got upset and said she dreamed of having the ring. My elder sister didn't really care that much, so bought a different one instead. Now that they're married, Sarah has changed her mind about my mom's ring and doesn't want it. I never thought about it too much, but I'm wondering if that was always weirdly calculated just to make sure for some reason my sister-in-law doesn't have that ring. That's what I said about the venue.
This is weird.
Yeah, that's what I said about the venue. Right now, she can say that she dreams of being married in Italy.
Right.
But who knows down the line when she's actually planning, she might change her mind.
Everyone changes their mind in wedding planning. Like everyone. From the dress to the venue to what you want.
I always thought that I would want to wear a long sleeve wedding dress. Like a wedding gown. Oh my gosh. There are no sleeves on my wedding gown. None. And my wedding was in December.
No, okay, I can tell you guys a quick little snippet about this. It was the funniest thing. Because initially, because I went with her when she went dress shopping. Initially, she told me her vision. We saw the Pinterest posts. I knew what we were, what the goal was, right? But when I tell you every single long sleeve dress, it was not the one.
It was not
like she looked great in everything,
no,
right?
I didn't.
But the vibe, the vibe was just not right. It didn't scream bride. It screamed like not the beautiful, gorgeous bride that you are. I don't even know what to say. It was just, frumpy. You looked uncomfortable.
It was frumpy and uncomfortable. Yeah.
And I remember you were so adamant, no, like there has to be sleeves. And of course, Miss Scandalous over here, no sleeves.
In fact, it was a deep V-neck. I actually thought that I would be more modest. So like long sleeves and like a higher neckline. Not even a sweetheart, but here I had a deep V and I just kind of rode with it.
She looked great, guys.
Yeah, I felt great.
Very classy, very beautiful.
Yeah. And I was able to dance.
Yeah.
I just don't think that OP needs to change their mind. Just because sister is thinking that she wants it in Italy. She's not even engaged.
That's weird to have such strong, like unchanging opinions about something. Especially when your sister is in the midst of her planning her happy moment. And to go in there and say, no, change this, change that, because I've always had a dream.
Yeah. But that it might just stay a dream, so. We don't know yet. I mean, come on.
I mean, with that personality.
What's the game plan here? Anyways, I'm pretty sure all the guests would appreciate a free airfare and a free stay at a free venue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a very intimate, magical experience. Yeah. And I want to say, even if you were to somehow, have the same wedding event at the same venue, the vibes are so different from bride to bride.
So different. Yeah. So Reddit's overall vote was not the a-hole.
Yes.
Yay. I don't know how OP could be the a-hole if she chose her venue to be in Italy. I mean, just because it's one sister's dream venue doesn't mean it can't be another sister's dream venue. So,
and it's definitely not the most, to be honest, unique wedding venue choice or wedding country choice.
Yeah. Plenty
of people get married in Italy. Yeah. Is the sister going to be mad if she sees any of her friends ever get married in Italy?
Probably.
Oh. Can imagine banning a whole country from your friend and family group.
At some point, someone else will want to get married in Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And imagine if she changes her mind. She goes through all this hassle, and then when it comes her time, she goes, you know what? I changed my mind. It's France now. No one's allowed to get married in France.
It's London. Well, let us know what you guys think about today's story. What would you do if you were OP? Would you just change your venue just to keep the peace, or would you stick to your venue? And let us know why.
Let us know in the comments. And if you are listening to us on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, guys. Like this video, share it with a friend if you want, and let us know your thoughts. If you're listening to us on Spotify, don't forget to follow us and give us 5 stars.
Talk to you later.
Bye.